Greetings, loyal subjects of the Imperium of Man. I am Librarian Elias of the Adeptus Astartes. I am creating a series of recordings with the intent of educating the general populace of the dangers of the galaxy. All of this information comes from the Lexicanum, provided to me by the Adeptus Mechanicus. I will be reading verbatim from their archives. This recording will cover one of the many foes the Imperium faces, the youngest and final Chaos God to date, Slaanesh. Slaanesh is the Chaos God of lust, greed, excess, pain, pleasure, perfection, and hedonism. Slaanesh was the last of the major Chaos Gods to be born, coming into existence with the collapse of the Eldar civilization. The name Slaanesh derives from Slaaneth, the god's name in the language of chaos, with Sla meaning ecstasy, pleasure, etc., and Neth meaning lord of, master of, or prince of, hence the prince of pleasure. The correct adjectives of things associated with Slaanesh, such as its worshippers, is Slaaneshi. Slaanesh typically appears in a form which is female on the right side and male on the left, with two sets of horns rising from its flowing golden hair. It can, however, assume any form: male, female, hermaphrodite, or asexual, but prefers male bodies. Its sacred number is 6. The symbol of Slaanesh combines the conventional symbols for male and female. It is also known by a multitude of titles, such as the Prince of Chaos, Prince of Excess, Prince of Pleasure, and Lord of Dark Delights. The Eldar, who name it Slaanesh, which translates to She Who Thirsts, and other many names, such as She Who Is Not Named, the Great Enemy, or the Great Serpent. Slaanesh was fully born at the moment of the fall of the Eldar. The birth of Slaanesh created the Eye of Terror and slew most of the Eldar, except those far enough away from the Eldar homeworlds to escape. This event also slew all the Eldar gods except for Cain, who was shattered into many pieces, the Laughing God, Kegarak, and Isha, who was, according to one craft world, taken captive by the Chaos God, Nurgle. Slaanesh has a neutral attitude to some of the other gods of chaos, as he is generally too caught up in his own pleasures to be interested in rivalries or alliances. But his particular enemy is Khorne, whose belief in pain and death is completely opposed to Slaanesh's principle of a life of unrestricted pleasure. The worship of Slaanesh. Slaanesh's symbol is rarely worn openly by its followers. They instead often wear items of jewelry bearing erotic motifs. Followers dress in robes which are often opened to leave the right side of the chest uncovered, a requirement of many of the rituals involved in his worship. Pastel and electric shades are the chief colors, although white may be used as well. These colors are also sometimes carried over into everyday wear, although they may be modified to fit in with current fashions. In all cases, all Slaanesh followers wear garbs of sensuously high quality. Even the most militant of Slaanesh's followers do not deny themselves this hedonistic lifestyle. Cultist hideouts may be fortified and stocked with weapons, but they are equally stocked with luxurious furniture, sumptuous food, and erotic decorations. In the mythology of the primitive inhabitants of Fenris, Slaanesh, presumably a misinterpretation of Slaanesh, is an evil deity, described as the offspring of the dark god Horus and the dragon goddess Skirnir, and is imprisoned within one of the planet's volcanic islands after being defeated by Leman Russ. The Demons of Slaanesh. The armies of Slaanesh are known as the Legions of Excess. Each legion is commanded by a keeper of secrets, though there are cases where a favored demon prince is known to have lordship instead. Below these commanders are demon princes princes or heralds of Slaanesh, each in command of one of 6 formations. While some of the Dark Prince's generals are obsessive in commanding a single type of legion, the majority will change formations as the mood or need suits them. There are several types of legions of excess. Flayer legions are geared towards wanton destruction, and there are many demonettes take great pleasure in the act. The Hunter legions are masters of quick kills and are built primarily around fast-moving cavalry and chariots. The flamboyant Gladiatrix legions are the most sorcerous, relying heavily upon psychic powers and mesmerism. The Terror legions are a shock force specializing in elaborate and gory displays of combat, infamous for unleashing a barrage upon the senses that can overwhelm weak-willed enemies. The legions of Eternal Punishment have no specialty, but rather call upon the damnations of Slaanesh, intermixing magics and temptation alongside battlecraft. The strangest of Slaanesh's legions are known as the Coronet legions. To them, battle is but a dance, and the demons whirl about one another as they slay their foes in bizarrely choreographed maneuvers. While they lack the speed of the other legions, their elegance and creativity captures the favor of their master more than practical assaults could ever hope. Next are the Demons of Excess. Demons of Slaanesh are elegant and eerily beautiful, agile and graceful, while also cruel and violent to the extreme. Slaanesh's servants are both horrific and alluring, mesmerizing and loathsome. Although they cannot match the raw power of Khorne's armies, the resiliency of Nurgle's Talibans, or the eldritch might of Tzeentch's hosts, demons of Slaanesh are possessed of a speed and lethality that is unequal. Notable examples of these demons are the Keepers of Secrets, the greater demons of Slaanesh. They can resemble huge, bestial, and ugly creatures, or lithe, terrifying creatures with an unholy beauty. Or demonettes, the common demons of Slaanesh. They are often described as disturbingly beautiful, often feminine on one side and masculine on the other, with crab-like claws instead of hands. The demon engines of Slaanesh include the Slaanesh Subjugator, which is a small titan that is crab-like in appearance, and a Sonic Dreadnought, which is a Slaaneshi corrupted dreadnought, as well as several titans that are dedicated to Slaanesh. The forces dedicated to Slaanesh are fewer than the other Chaos Gods. The most notable are the Chaos Space Marine Legion, known as the Emperor's Children. Once most the Emperor's most loyal servants, they turned traitor during the Horus Heresy. Most of their remaining members are little more than hedonistic psychopaths who often wield some weaponry in battle. As with the other Chaos Gods, there are also renegades and cults, demonic warbands, and traitor titan legions that follow Slaanesh. As with the other Chaos Gods, Slaanesh has many notable servants. One of them being Fulgrim, the Primarch of the Emperor's Children, now a powerful demon prince. Zerikanel, the most revered of Slaanesh's Keeper of Secrets. Nkari, a demon prince who fought on Horus's battle barge during the Heresy, and one of the first demons summoned by the traitor Erebus. The Mask, a powerful demonette and demonic herald of Slaanesh. And Lucius the Eternal, a champion of Slaanesh, known to always resurrect when he dies. As with all the Chaos Gods, Slaanesh will often reward his most favored followers with special gifts and blessings. The topic that will be touched upon briefly will be the Palace of Slaanesh. The Palace of Slaanesh is Slaanesh's realm within the warp. His realm is similar to Tzeentch's maze in that those that dare to risk its realm might become trapped in its warm delights for eternity. This concludes the information regarding Slaanesh. More in-depth information regarding them will be recorded at a later date. This is Librarian Elias.